Hey, yo, one more win for the good guys. It's another week of fantasy football, week 16. I'm your host, Keza Canuck. I'm here with my guy, D Nice.
Yes.
Welcome, one and all. It's been a heck of a week of football, and we're going to chop it up in regards to all of that and more or less what's going to happen the following week. So, again, thanks for hanging out with us. D, how's your week been, sir?
It was tough, man. The beginning of it was pretty tough, man. Well, last week was pretty tough for me, man. I got the old flu, man.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It was tough on me, but I recovered, got through the weekend, and here I am,
Yeah,
back.
I heard someone was going around. To be honest with you, someone was going around. I have a couple friends who came down with something or other. What it do, Marlon? Good to see you. Good to have you jumping in. Yeah, a couple of folks got the flu so far. I've been straight, but that's probably got a lot to do with me just being a homebody and staying indoors, man. Like sometimes in this weather, this time of season, it's just good to keep inside, man. All that damn snow outside and all of that. So.
Yeah.
We've been doing okay over here, man. Just getting ready for this holiday situation to pop off. And in the meantime, watching some good old NFL football. And man, certain blue and orange squad wound up at the tippy top of the NFC North this weekend.
Once again, we're back. Once
Yes.
again, it's on, and I truly think, I truly think we're there to stay, man. We're there to stay. I don't think. Well, I mean, of course, we got to handle business, but I don't think there's anybody that's gonna really knock us off it.
So, all right, let's start the show. So, I got up watching that Packers game, man, and I found myself. I'm gonna say some bad stuff now. So I found myself watching this game, going, "Damn, like Bo Nix looked nice, man. He looked great." Sean Payton, shout out to you and the stuff you've been doing in Denver. You're doing you're doing the Lord's work over there because that team looked seasoned and well, like a well-oiled machine. Um, as I was watching it, I'm watching Micah Parsons just be the destructive force that he is. And for a minute there, as I'm watching that game, I have to admit to the world, I'm admit the worst thing. Like just for a minute, I was like, man, like, you know, imagine he gets hurt in this game. And like as I was like thinking it, I turned around and I went to go do something else and I came back and he was hurt. I was like, oh no, did I like curse this man? So like shame on me. I just want to give like that Jack Chipper shame on me. Like I have to admit I did kind of think for a minute, if he gets hurt in this game, man, we're gonna have a much easier time against that green and yellow next week. And
Yeah.
lo and behold, that's what went down. And like what brought it on was they were showing two things. They were showing sort of like a little bit of a scuffle, but just before the scuffle that he was sort of involved in,
hmm
they were showing Christian Watson go down and somebody else went down as well.
Zach Tom and Zach Tom and they were already down to tackle Wyatt. So Zach Tom is another key piece, and I think another lineman for them is out too. Well, went down. Oh no, I'm sorry. The safety Williams, Evan Williams.
That's right. It was Evan
Mhm.
Williams. So that's what I was sort of looking at. I was like, man, they're experiencing some injury in this game. I wonder, like, just imagine he went down too, and boom, then it happened. And I felt terrible for just thinking that for a minute. So I just wanted to admit to the world that I had that thought, and that I shouldn't have had that thought. And then I'm sorry, Micah. It's probably better to have that Green Bay team at full strength and go up against them at full strength and beat them for who they are.
Yeah,
Even though we were not at full strength, the Bears were not at full strength when we played them 2 weeks ago and lost. Um, that being said, I expect it to be a little bit less of a challenge for these
hmm
Chicago Bears to get
Well,
one up.
I don't know, man. I think Green Bay is who they are. They've been the class of this division for a while, and it's not by mistake. They're
Nope.
gonna come out. They're gonna try to do their best because they do still have some awesome players on their side. We just have to do what we need to do, bro.
You said it. You said it. It'll be a game nonetheless. I know they're not gonna roll over.
Mm-hmm.
I just missing one of your best wide receivers, one of your better safeties, as well as your multi-million-dollar edge rusher. It's going to be a tough sledding for the Green Bay Packers. So I kind of want to give them a little bit of shout out today and just say,
Get well soon, baby.
get well soon. I'm sorry about all that, and the end of the day, we'll see how things shake out. Clearly, I will be voting for my Chicago Bears because I believe getting over the hump with Green Bay, as well as the next couple of games.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. One more loss for Green Bay really hurts their ability to take that top spot. The Detroit Lions have lost a couple of games now. I'm under the impression that if they lose to the Steelers, they may not be able to make the playoffs at all.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for them. I mean, especially if San Francisco handles business this week.
Yeah, so they're kind of who we need to worry about a little bit because I'm not factoring in San Francisco's upside to all this, right? So if they do win these next couple of games, including potentially the game against Chicago, it may look better for their seeding in the playoff battle in the NFC as well. So fingers crossed. Great things don't happen in San Francisco, but yeah, that's how we will preface today's show. Just talking a little bit of what some of the seeding looks like. We'll focus on the NFC mainly. There's also the Rams. The Rams came up a slice this week by beating who did the Rams play? It was Detroit. Rams beat Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit.
So they look pretty decent with regards to starting on the top of the NFC. Mind you, they go up against a really tough squad this week. They're playing Seattle.
That could be for the division, man. For the division.
This is it. So they could be knocked off in that regard and bumped down a peg. We'll see what that looks like. Seattle's coming in with an 11-3 11-3 record. So it'll be interesting to see them not be the cream of the crop this time around. But I think I have a feeling they're going to beat the Rams, especially because a certain Mr. Adams may likely not be playing this week. I'm very surprised Puka Nacua will be playing because he got hurt in that game as well, but wound up coming back towards the end.
Well, with Puka, man, he's tough as nails, man. He's gonna get hurt and bounce back like a round ball. But Devontae Adams really, I think they're used to not playing. Well, we're used to him being in and out of the lineup, and they have a system over there, man. And they're gonna lean on Puka like they leaning on Cooper Kupp before him. But that division, man, shoot, the only one that's slacking is Arizona because everybody else has double-digit wins. So it's gonna be a chance for a team to fall back and for a team to come up if they have business. Seattle and the Rams are both 11-3, and then you got San Francisco at 10-4.
Well, yeah, looks like potentially 3 of those guys will be going to the playoffs here. It sounds a lot like our division, to be honest with you. 2 real tough divisions in the NFC there. The NFC least is usually, last couple of years, they've really been doing a good job at sending a couple of teams upstream as well. This time around, I have a feeling somehow the Cowboys sneak in, man. I'm feeling the Cowboys sneak in. Even though they've been having a lot of struggles over the year, their defense ain't great. What I can say is Matt Eberflus, even though he had a bad start to the season, he's sort of back to doing what he does, and it's starting to work a little bit. So that secondary isn't terrible, right? They're picking off footballs left, right, and center when Al Harris was there. Al Harris, like those two guys switched. Al Harris is now in Chicago. Matt Eberflus is now in Dallas running the show. Looking at it all, not a bad secondary. All they needed was a pass rush. They needed the front four to be able to do stuff, and that front four isn't terrible. Did they lose? Did they lose Micah Parsons? Yes. It's not the pass rush they had last year, but they've got a pass rush, and they're doing decent things against the run. They have a little bit of struggle against the run. They have traditionally, but they're getting some stuff done.
Yeah, they did gain a few players in their last 3 games. They really need this game. They really need that game versus Minnesota to really take them over the top, because after that they got the Chargers, Commanders, and Giants.
Yeah, that's what they needed. Commanders will be a bit of a walk in the park. Same with the Giants. So it's really just the Chargers that's going to beat up on them, and that's probably how that's going to look. But that being said, Dak and the rest of the supporting cast, great skill players they have on that team, they're going to be a problem for somebody in the postseason. I can only say that out loud.
Yeah, I think. Ooh. I think they got a good chance against the Chargers. Chargers are struggling to score the football, man. Justin Herbert is hurting,
Yeah, he
and
is. He's
they're
not playing.
struggling. They're struggling, bro. But Philly has the Commanders twice and the Bills in the middle. So I mean,
Well, I'd like to say the same thing, but in division, all bets are off.
yeah.
So I can almost bet that the Commanders will pull out one out of two of those.
Oof.
Just one. and Buffalo though, like I don't know, man.
Listen, I sold my Buffalo stock weeks ago.
Okay, like you ain't wrong. Like I was kind of mad. Like I'm okay. Let me rephrase. I'm glad I didn't bet this week. I didn't put any bets down this week because I was nervous about the Bears situation. Just a little nervous. Felt the Bears were going to do what they needed to do, and they did. I was just a little nervous. You know who isn't struggling? The Texans. Might be the hottest right now. That sounds about right. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they do damage in the playoffs or anything like that, but they've been waiting for their boy to get back. Finally, he's back. It's funny, Nomad. We actually talked about that a couple weeks back, me and you. You should jump in here because you were saying you think they should stick with Davis Mills. Remember that conversation?
Yeah, I mean, the way it was looking, bro, I didn't blame them.
I don't either, but they might because CJ's back and it's working all over.
Very rarely. There's two worlds that exist right here. You had a struggling CJ Stroud before, whatever happened to him. He was struggling bad.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes Davis Mills in the game. He picks up the pieces. They started to strive a little bit. And sometimes by sitting a young guy and having him watch another quarterback operate the system, sometimes it's a big help, and then sometimes it's not. Sometimes it'll go against your better judgment to go take the hot hand out just because you have a franchise guy when you're in a playoff contention situation. So it worked out well for them, man. Sometimes that backfires.
I'm wondering if that actually will lead them into the playoffs. Those couple of wins that Davis Mills was able to scrape up while CJ Stroud was gone, and what he's been doing now since he's back. Speaking on the AFC side of the fence, I'd like to send a fond farewell and a bon voyage to
this guy goes again, kicking people in the gonads, man. Those things come back to bite you now.
I can't be bit by this one, right? They're gone. There's nothing they can do about it, at least not in the 2026 season or 2025 season. And that is the Kansas City Chiefs. Somehow the Kansas City Chiefs have been bumped out of playoff contention. I hardly even believe what's happened, but to make matters worse, fantasy football owners, Patrick Mahomes is hurt, and that almost never goes down, right? So that's what they call in the game show world a double whammy. That's what they call that one. Wow, boy, yeah, man. So like, rest, bon voyage. I won't say rest in peace, but bon voyage to Matt Nagy, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Sad
Indeed,
day.
the end of an era, man.
Yes, man. That dynasty, it's just falling short, man. Just falling short. It's crazy. What a better time to kick someone other than when they're being down. That is like, when else am I going to kick you? I kick you when you're standing up. Damn it.
And Philip Rivers, his return to football, man.
Speaking of kicking people while they were down, I gotta laugh. That's funny. Look, man, you know what? He didn't have the worst football game in the world.
He did not.
They managed that football game perfectly. John Taylor, you're a gangster. You're out there running like a chicken with his head cut off, running things down. They did everything in their power not to put Phil Rivers in a situation where he had to throw the ball. But eventually that's where they got. Like, they just got to that part of the game where it was do or die. They're down by a little bit. We got to come back. It's on you, Phil. And Phil got behind her and he said, dang it, because Phil don't curse, right? Like, so he's mad. Mm-hmm. He said, dang it, and he whipped that ball right to the other team, and that was that. Like, that was the end of the game. The game was over.
And that might have cost them a shot at the playoffs, Kez. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
Texans won 6 in a row. They on fire right now, and I think they play the Colts one more time, if not next week, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been real, man. Indiana Jones goes down goes the Colts.
That's what happened, and that's a terrible situation. They were playing great football all season. Shout out to the Indianapolis Colts. No matter how you look at it, they deserve a lot of respect.
They got Frisco, they got Jacksonville, and they got Houston last.
Oh boy. Yikes. That's tough. That's tough sledding, man. That's tough. No man said you just saw Phil Rivers at the senior center eating Jello. Gotta get that in you,
Yeah, man.
Don't mess with your dentures. But damn, yeah. Big ups to Philly Rivers. He will be back under center this week. I'd just like to say, and I caught this on X, as Elon Musk would put it. Somebody posted up, Anthony Richardson should be given another shot. And I had to read it because I was like, yeah, like, whatever happened to Anthony Richardson?
Man.
So go ahead.
Give Anthony Richardson a shot of Hennessy, man. Tell him it's been real.
Oh, that's cold-blooded, man. Like, what this guy was saying, he was like, Anthony Richardson's younger than, and he listed like 7 quarterbacks in the league. He's a very young man. He's got a long shelf life, if you will. He can really do some milk carton Richardson. Dang, yeah, he's missing in action. They should give him at least some sort of tutelage and training. If you're gonna put him on a bench, he's a high-end draft pick. Give him some love, man. Give him some of the stuff that whatever they're feeding Bryce Young in Kakalaka. Feed him some of that. Give him some of that, because damn it, he could use it. He was, he's a he's a talent with the ball in his hands. He just doesn't have the quarterback chops. Go send him out there to get it and find it, and then give him some reps because he's gonna need it.
Yeah, kids, but unfortunately, they ain't selling it. They ain't selling what he need on a clearance aisle, man. He got a lot of work to put in and get that, man. And it just doesn't look like he's trying to do it, man.
Can't argue with any of that sentiment at all, because like I say, it ain't working. It did not work. I will say this though. See Richardson since the last Black History Month. Oh, that's cold, man. Y'all mean it. Anyways, I'm just saying, boy, they throw these young quarterbacks to the wolves, and if it don't work, they kick him to the curb, man. And that's just kind of how it goes. I think all of them are reclamation projects that you can sort of put down and give a little bit of tutelage, and in 4, maybe 5 years, they may be worth their weight at the position again. At this point, they put him out there, he got hurt. They're like, okay, we're going to put you back out there when you're healthy. You got healthy, you put him back out there, you got hurt. Sounds a lot like a certain quarterback in Washington. But I guarantee you 1 out of 2 of these guys will be back as a starting quarterback next season.
Yes,
right?
indeed.
So
yeah,
give that guy a shot, man. Give him, and I don't necessarily mean start him, because I'll be straight up here. I don't think he has any level of a future in Indianapolis. I think that ship has sailed. I think Indiana Jones is the future over there, right? Yeah, no. Yeah. When you go and get a 50-year-old man, they called me. I said no, it's okay, right? You know what I mean? I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you go get a 50-year-old man, you put him out there over the 23-year-old young rookie. Yeah, something's wrong, man. Something ain't working.
yeah. They got some things to figure out over in Indianapolis, because to me, the young guy out of Notre Dame looked better than Richardson.
He did too. Yeah, man. You're talking Tyler Show. He's on the thumbnail this week.
Nah, I'm talking about
or Spencer Rattler.
For the Colts.
Oh, okay.
The big kid out of Notre Dame that went to Duke first. What's his name?
You hold on, man. I got you. He did too, though. Is the facts. Riley Leonard.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. They got some things they need to figure out, and if they don't make the playoffs, maybe they'll snake their way up to the front. But the draft is not. I don't think this year's draft is.
Philip Rivers at the fish fry drinking out a keg of beer, and I'm hungry and thirsty right now thinking about that whole thing. I'm just saying, man.
But they're gonna have some things to think about, man.
Yeah. I like, they won't be at the tippy top of the draft either, because they played very well for the better part of the season. They're gonna be a mid card in that draft. They'll be at 17-ish, right?
Yeah, and the defense is so fast and physical, man. That's a real group over there on defense, man. But Jonathan Taylor, he's gonna have a Walter Payton type of performance to get them guys to the playoffs.
I don't know.
But he ended up getting hurt too.
At the end of that game, he did.
Riley Leonard.
Oh, so they're down. So they're in a bad way. They're down to Brett Ripien. He's hurt as well. Yeah, that all they got left is that's why they had to go out and get Philly Rivers. There's not a healthy man that can throw a football in Indianapolis. That's what that looks like. He's the only one who isn't on IR or hurt. Let me just check Anthony Richardson again. He's medically cleared. See, that's how you know they have no faith in this situation. The homie's medically cleared, but still on IR.
Yeah, man. Richardson was cooked last year, bro.
Yeah.
When he tapped out of that game, man.
That's not good, man. This poor guy. Like I say, develop him is all I'm saying. Develop the kid. See what good he is after that. And hopefully, hopefully he's worth some level of trade capital to the Indianapolis Colts down the road. That's all I'm saying. Don't just throw these guys to the wolves. I hate that. That's me.
Well, I think they may see what they can get from him via trade. That's what a smart GM would do. He is a first round pick. Atlanta could use somebody, but I think they've had enough of often injured quarterbacks.
Speaking of Atlanta, this guy, there are a couple of guys in Atlanta to be talked about.
Yeah,
Captain Kirk. Kirk Cousins, man, he went to work last week, man. He put out 31 fantasy football points, 3 touchdowns, 370-odd yards. I don't know if that is an indication of things to come. I honestly can't call it with Kirk Cousins anymore. I'll be factual at this point. I don't know. Here's what I do know. I do know that 2 out of the next 3 weeks, he's playing teams that I think he can perform well against. I think he can perform well against the Arizona Cardinals this week. So I'll give that a thumbs up. I think he can perform well against the New Orleans Saints in Week 18. Don't think he can perform well against the Los Angeles Rams. So, if you're in a pinch and you need a quarterback over the next couple of weeks, I had to put the man on the thumbnail because this is a biggie, especially if you are in a Superflex league, especially if a certain ketchup-eating Kansas Cityite got hurt, right? So I like ketchup too, Patrick. That was best match. Right? Like if he went down, you might be looking for another quarterback. Kirk Cousins is not heavily rostered, 15% rostered, 5% started. You might be able to find him. He might be your Hail Mary saving grace this coming week. So take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, Kirk had a heck of a game, man. Versus Tampa Bay. That was a very exciting game to watch. Who else as a quarterback can we shine a light on this week, man?
Well, before we leave Atlanta,
okay.
Gotta look at who was catching the passes, right?
Yeah, man.
We'll zero in on quarterbacks, but this young man, now that we're looking at it now that we have a full sample size, I don't know what was going on the first couple of years. And I suppose you can just blame that on Arthur Smith, maybe. But 1, 2, let's do it the other way. 3, 5, 6, 7. I guess he's 50-50. So 50-50, he's good or bad. He's like, this man's a viable tight end in the NFL. This is what I'm trying to say. He's a viable tight end in the NFL. He's had a pretty decent season this season. Years 1 and 2 weren't fantastic, but this year's pretty good. Capped off with a 55-point fiasco, 166 yards. What? You know what I mean? Like this guy destroyed it. 3 TDs this past week. This is just a dominance that I think the entire league has been waiting for with Kyle Pitts. I'm gonna say some crazy stuff. I have a strange feeling Kyle Pitts winds up getting franchise tagged by this team, because I don't know if anybody's going to really give them anything for him. I'll be real. I also don't know if they can afford to lose him given the fact of where he was drafted. So they can't let him walk, right? They need to get capital for him, and I just don't see it happening.
Now, I mean, to be honest with you, they've been trying to get rid of him
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
for the last year and a half or so. Understandably so, because he picks week 15 to be the guy that I thought he was going to be when I drafted him.
Yeah.
But I gave up on him after week 4.
You and everybody else.
Which is the last week he scored a touchdown before week 16. Well, week 15, I'm sorry.
You and everybody else. Numbers are okay. They ain't great. But here we go. 55 yards, 160 yard plus stuff.
But to piggyback off of what you said, if by any chance Kyle Pitts get out of Atlanta, he'll be in Carolina 3 hours later.
If you're not wrong, and this is part of the reason why they would franchise tag him. They can't have him go to someplace like that at all. Next door, you know what I mean? Wow. And he would be, man. Would this young man be loving to play in Carolina? He'd love to play there. Oh, I get to go back home twice a year and go beat up on them.
With that kid on his rookie contract, Kyle Pitts would definitely be in Carolina.
Bro, that would make them a very, very vicious football team too. So as it says there, I'm just saying it. I was just saying it out loud, but it's right there for you guys. Falcons could use franchise tag on Kyle Pitts Sr. Like Sleeper knows what they're talking about, because this is exactly what's going through my mind. I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to use a franchise tag on him because, again, the demand is not high. It's a situation where if he's walking free and clear, he can go wherever he wants. And those Carolina Panthers would love to have a player like this. Yeah. That's my 2 cents there. But let's go back to looking at, if you can find Kyle Pitts, get him. It goes without saying. He's heavily rostered, mind you. They're saying he's 60% started. I know a lot of fantasy football owners that have had him riding the bench for a very long time this year. Like I'll just be honest about this. So is what it is. This guy. Yeah, he's starting to become a thing.
As he should.
Semi-viable thing, right?
Yeah.
A certain Mr. Show is showing out, or is it Shuh? Pronounce it as you will. 18 fantasy football points, a touchdown, 22 the week before, another 18 the week before that. He's on par with what you're looking for. Big deal though. He's going up against the lowly Misfits. I call the New York Jets Misfit Island, the team from Misfit Island. Always have, because it's always some sort of weird hodgepodge of humanity and it never works out. And that's basically what's going on there again. That being said, the next quarterback I'll talk about here in a minute just beat the daylights out of the Jets last week. Just slapped them up and down all over the place. So I expect similar things to happen again this week to the lowly Jets. It won't be a great situation for anybody but Tyler Show and these New Orleans Saints, who could really use an upside game. They played very well this week. Almost won that game if they did not win. Carolina, I believe they lost, but very close. Very close. Did they win?
Yeah. The Saints won. The Saints won. Yeah.
Okay. It was a very close game. That's all I remember. That being the case, he played very well. If you're desperate enough to start Tyler Show, just gonna book them Cancun tickets. Oh, funny.
Yeah, I mean, at this point of it, man, if Tyler Show is your go-to, if you're in the playoffs or wherever you're at, I mean, if you're out of the playoffs, then it doesn't matter. I mean, but if you're in the playoffs and you had Pat Mahomes and you got to lean in on Tyler Show,
now you got me. That's what I'm saying, especially in them Superflex leagues where you got to start two, right? So there's folks that I'll be up against this week, I'm sure, who are like, damn, Patty Mahomes is not starting. What do I do? Well, this might be a little thing you do, because ain't nothing good happening in New York. They don't have a defense. They just things that make you say, like the song.
Well, they pretty much sold the farm to everybody on the
This is what I'm
defensive
saying.
end.
Then they fired the defensive coordinator like it's his fault. Would you
Yeah,
believe that? Like this, I was like, so you got rid of Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams, and it's the defensive coordinator's fault? You gotta be kidding me, bro. What the hell? Anyways, so I guess sometimes you need a scapegoat and heads will roll. So
yeah.
that's really what that is.
Coach Wilkes a good guy, man. I remember Coach Wilkes when I was in college. He was a positions coach at Savannah State when I was there. Coach Wilkes is an awesome guy, man. I hate that he keeps he's going through this roller coaster in the NFL as far as he's been a head coach, been a coordinator for some of everybody, man. Yeah, Coach Wilkes a good guy, man.
That's terrible.
New Orleans don't have much to play for, but their opponents don't either. So this could be another opportunity for Tyler Show to put up numbers, man.
And you know what else is an opportunity for Tyler Show to put up numbers? Week 17 against the Tennessee Titans. So these last 3 games for Tyler Show, this is crazy stuff I'm putting down right now. These next 3 games for Tyler Show are probably going to be big number games. Mark my words on this. Probably going to be big number games if you're really hurting at the quarterback position right now for one reason or the next. If you are a Patrick Mahomes owner, you might want to just put him on your squad just in case and feel it out. Because all I'm saying, I'm not saying he's a world beater, but I am saying he can beat these 3 teams.
30 plus losses in between those 3 teams.
That's a great way to
now Atlanta, they don't have a reason to tank because they don't have a first round pick. So that may be a competitive game there. But the Saints in Atlanta is always competitive. But Tennessee and New York, definitely.
That's what I'm saying. So my man Nomad is saying, oops, oh man, wrong guy. My man Nomad is saying something here. This is what he's saying. I could never trust a man with a mustache like that. I don't know about the rest of y'all. I'm just saying. I could not do it. This is Gardner Minshew. Let's say that 2 times fast. Gardner Minshew. That's who it is. Gardner Minshew is the backup quarterback right now in Kansas City. Gardner Minshew on the fantasy radar in Superflex leagues. This is possible. Except, okay, well, you got me. I was going to say I don't believe this for a second, but for 1 second I do, because they play the Tennessee Titans next week.
And people forget, Minshew got a Pro Bowl nod as quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. So this is not the average backup, man. This guy comes, when it's time for him to perform, he comes ready to play, man. Well, even with the porno mustache.
he just didn't get any playing done this past week, is all I'm really saying. When Pat went down, he didn't really pick up the baton, as they say, and run with it. But be that as it may, ain't nothing good happening at Tennessee. So I think the one thing good that might happen in Tennessee is this mustachioed man and his ability to throw a football next week. So take that for what it's worth. Perhaps Gardner Minshew ain't so bad, right? Maybe he will. Maybe he'll step up to the plate against Tennessee. Like I do not see, regardless as to without. Andy Reid will tailor that game plan. I'm sure he will. Like, it's not like Gardner Minshew does not have an arm. He does. He's also just wild and crazy enough to get a couple of yards here and there on the ground too. He ain't no Lamar Jackson, but he'll rumble and bumble and mess around. End of the day, ain't nothing great happening in Tennessee. So I think he may be able to put up a one real good game, if not two. If your fantasy league goes right down the wire to week 18, they're up against Las Vegas Raiders, and speaking of places where things ain't going great. Right. So both of those situations, 2 out of 3, are potentially Gardner Minshew positive.
Yeah.
Denver's on a tear right now, and they're just going to beat up on Kansas City like it isn't fair. And more power to the Denver Broncos, because they've been getting beat up by Kansas City twice a season for a very long time. So shout out to Denver once again, and I think they'll take with the Week 17 matchup. But Week 16 and 18, depending on how your league goes,
Yeah.
Minshew ain't crazy.
And we're really not sure how Kansas City is going to finish out the rest of this year. Are they going to allow their veterans to check out, and start their vacations early? Because the announcement has been made that, look, they're out of the playoffs. And usually when it's like that, you start seeing young guys whose name you ain't heard from since they was playing on Saturdays. So, and you mentioned about Tennessee. Their number 1 pick is playing a lot better than he has been, and they're really tearing the ground up with the run. Very impressive the last 2 weeks versus Cleveland and against San Francisco last week.
Let's take a quick look at him, because, man, I drafted this kid in 2 leagues and dropped him like a hot coal. Yeah, you're right. He's starting to step it up. He's had some really, really bad games, but to say that that's not to be expected with a rookie quarterback, I would be lying and fooling myself. So,
yeah, it's been a change of philosophy over there. You could tell.
Yeah, limits mistakes and loss. Yeah, you're right. He's starting to change the way that he goes to market, and that's what he needed to do. 42 passes in a football game. 39 here, 38 there. It's been tough sledding for Tennessee, man, and their young quarterback. So 15% rostered, 4% started. He's available out there too. Believe it or not, I would be looking at Tyler Show as well as Gardner Minshew, or even Kirk Cousins. I'd be looking at all 3 of those guys over Cam Ward. But that being said, it'll probably be a little bit more of a football game than it has been over the course of the year for the Tennessee Titans, man. I think they're starting to find themselves. And I think he will improve heavily over the course of the offseason and into next year. So I was feeling about Cam Ward in 2026.
And since we're talking quarterbacks, there's a guy who's been performing and putting up numbers. His team hasn't been reaping the benefits of the efforts that he's put up for the squad. But the professional, Mr. Jacoby Brissett, listen, I don't know why he's not starting anybody's league or why he's not being rostered.
You want to know who's starting him? Your boy Keds the Canuck is starting Jacoby Brissett.
Okay.
That's who's starting Jacoby. I don't know about anybody else.
Because one thing about Mr. Brissett, the ball's going in the air.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, D, you're telling the truth. So I was in a pinch early. Like I've been telling y'all, man. And I still haven't dropped the kid yet. He has to get dropped now. I don't have much choice. So for those of you who are up against me in the Superflex Gangster League in the playoffs, I'm letting go of Daniels, because keeping him at this point is just for nostalgia's sake, right? Like so Marcus Mariota, who's the next quarterback that I will look at. Marcus Mariota has been named the starter for the remainder of the season. They just have decided not to put Jaden Daniels on IR, which is just a kick in the shorts to fantasy football players worldwide. Just want to say that out loud. Shame, but back to shame on the Washington Commanders and how you've handled this Jaden Daniels thing with respect to fantasy football. Yeah. Anyways, back to Jacoby Brissett. When he first got hurt, I grabbed up Jacoby Brissett and I put him on my squad, and things started to look decent. 26, 21. I wound up finding Trevor Lawrence, and I started Trevor Lawrence instead and sat him because it was bye week, and Trevor Lawrence did the job. But I decided to hold on to Jacoby Brissett, man. And when he came back, another 26, 19, 30, 23, 25, 20, 21. Okay. Yeah. You're a quarterback in the NFL, brother. If we talking fantasy football, you're a quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. So, man, keep your eyes peeled. If you can find a 50% roster, 23% started, he's likely available in your league. I am starting this guy, and I feel no kind of way. I'm not mad about it. I'm happy about it. He's up against Atlanta this week. It'll be a good game. They will probably lose, but one thing is for sure, you said it.
Ball's going up, baby. It's going up.
Ball's going to be.
And I'm going the opposite of you kids. I say Arizona wins big.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Just as possible. I don't know if like for me, it's just this. Kyle Pitts is a mismatch with the rest of humanity on a football. Like I was listening to some other football, fantasy football folks this week, man, and they're like, just imagine if this is like the future of the NFL, and they just start drafting, 7-foot monsters who run 6'5". You know what I mean? You're slow as all heck, but you got a wingspan so far that don't make no difference. Nobody can cover you.
Yeah,
it was just an interesting comment. I was like, man, that's crazy, but that's Kyle Pitts. He's a fair amount faster than 6'5". But how do you? Oh, okay, interesting. McDaniel may be benched Tua may be benched in Miami. McDaniel got to do something to save his butt. I don't know if he can really even do that, but yeah, blame Tua. It might work out. Didn't work out for Flores, but it might work out for you. They like you. The GM got to go. Anyhow, long story short, get yourself some Jacoby Brissett. If you can, go get it. He's worth it. It's weird, but it's working. And who was I just talking? Marcus Mariota.
Oof.
So when he gets out there, he plays well, right? And this is like when they picked him up, I was like, oh, it's kind of like, you couldn't find a better guy to back up Jaden Daniels because he's kind of like, minus the injuries, he's kind of like Jaden Daniels, sort of. He's slim, fast, pretty accurate. He will stay in the pocket, but he can break out. He's very similar in he's a top end, high end draft. I believe first overall, if I'm correct.
Second
over. Imagine that. So second overall, just like Jaden Daniels, very similar overall human being in comparison to the guy he's backing up. And it's a shame that he doesn't have a starting role in the NFL, man. It's kind of shameful. But hey, man, he gets out there 27, 17, one bad week. Average week, back up to 20, 18, 24. One bad week because he came in at the end when the young man got hurt, and that game was basically over. And then another 23-point week. They're going up against the Philadelphia Eagles this week, which to me is sort of up and down. Let me see if did they. Oh, snap. Yeah, run. Don't do this, man. They played Philly twice. I was like, did they play Philly earlier in the season just so I could see? They play Philly over the course of the next 3 weeks 2 times.
With Dallas in the middle.
So this might be tough sledding with respect to Marcus Mariota just in regards to matchups alone. All in division. It might also be the opposite. Philly hasn't been playing great football. These guys are probably, like I said earlier on, they're probably going to win 1 out of 2 of these games. Sheesh. But I think they lose to Dallas, right? So it's a tough one. It's a tough call with respect to Marcus Mariota. But if you need somebody, if you're like me and Jaden Daniels gots to go, you might want to be looking at Marcus Mariota as a potential backup and or replacement to Jaden Daniels. Yeah. But, them matchups are not that's not a pretty situation for anybody.
No, sir.
Yeah. Who else we got, man? I guess there's a couple of people. So deeper on Arizona. Who's I looking at? Oh, this guy. So Michael Carter's starting to play decent football, but mainly because everybody else in the running back room is hurt. I'm a Michael Carter fan. I like Michael Carter. He's generally that second back wherever he is that gets an opportunity and puts up a 20-point week. This week it was 13 points. 2 weeks ago it was 11 points. But this is in true backup capacity where somebody just kind of went down midway through the game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
So, and we have to understand Arizona's not running the football. They're not. Carter had 14 carries last week versus Houston. And mainly it's because they're getting far behind to the point where they have to fight their way back in. But with Brissett throwing the ball 40 times in a game, man, there's not really enough room for him to get the carries. But he also is effective in the backfield.
He's great, right? Like he's getting 11 points on 5 rushes. That's pretty crazy. So the question is, how quickly, man, D-nice. How quickly does the Arizona Cardinals get into a deficit, and it becomes the Jacoby Brissett show? If it takes a little while for that to happen against Atlanta, which I expect it might, maybe they win. Like you said, maybe they beat them. But if it takes a little while, then Michael Carter's your guy. He's right there, and he'll put up decent numbers on the ground. So take that for what it's worth. I have a feeling if you need a running back in a pinch this week, Michael Carter's a good look. Not so great for the next couple of weeks because they will probably fall well behind and early against both Cincinnati and the Rams. So take that for what it's worth. This 1 week, if you need a running back, Michael Carter's worth a look. So there's Michael Carter. Another guy I wanted to take a look at because somebody's clearly catching these footballs in Denver. I brought Troy Franklin to the table, and I'm going to do it again. Cortland Sutton's amazing. He's a great wide receiver, but he can't be – he's starting to be double-teamed. He's starting to be looked at and respected because that connection between him and Bo Nix is a thing. The benefactor of all of that, for the most part, has been Troy Franklin. So a 20-point week for Troy, got into the end zone. They're up against this will be a matchup this week, boy.
Yes, sir.
Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's the one guy I didn't get to, which I have to. Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence versus the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix. This is going to be a big matchup this week. I've never gone out of my way to watch either one of these teams. I'm going to say like maybe during the Elway years, but never Jacksonville. This week, I think this might, outside of Bears-Packers, this might be game of the week.
Jacksonville in Mile High it's got the looks of an ass kicking on it.
Man, imagine this matchup is happening this late into this season when nobody really thought anything about either one of these teams, and they come out and destroy it. right? Like they come out and just put it down in a manner that both of them are likely going to the playoffs without much challenge. So yeah, like Trevor Lawrence just walked into New Jersey, like I said, and just slapped these boys up, man. He had left them with no respect. They had to fire somebody, and put up a 54-point week. So this was part of my week with respect to the Gangster League. I had Trevor Lawrence, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Travion Henderson. And between the three of them, that's 150 points. That wins any standard fantasy football matchup, right? And I had some other players. Who cares? Like I have the other players I had were great too. But all in all, 275-point week. It was obscene. I don't expect that type of output over the next little while, but man, I had to give Trevor Lawrence a little bit of respect on my show because real talk, he's had a decent year, but in my opinion, still not that generational talent everybody wants to attribute him with. Decent year, decent season. If you need him, he might actually be out there. He's only rostered in 54% of leagues, started in 26. The problem is these last couple of games aren't, well, man, I don't know what to say. So great game this week. He goes to Indy the following week. That might be a good thing considering the way that they've been playing. Like that defense is stout, but if they get bumped out of the playoffs here over the next week, they may not have anything to play for come week 17. Right.
Well, Houston is on their tail, man. Houston is on them.
Yeah.
If they don't perform in Denver and Houston wins, because I think Houston has Houston has the Raiders.
Yeah, you're right.
This would be a real situation here, man. You know, Trevor Lawrence winning in Mile High. I'm nothing on that, bro. I don't see it. With that defense that Denver has, those guys coming off the edges and sending blitzes, I'm nothing. I don't believe in Trevor Lawrence winning out there. Now, I've seen stranger things because I'm surely not a fan of Bo Nix, even though he played a hell of a game against Green Bay. Still not a fan, but Trevor Lawrence winning in Mile High, yikes.
I'm just saying, that game last week, Bo Nix looked like a generational quarterback. I'm just saying, he looked like the real deal last week. I don't see a lot of that from Trevor Lawrence, man, but this week he did. Now, let's just be honest about the situation. Everybody looked generational against the New York Jets. So that's what that was. It was an anomaly taken for what it was. I'm not sure if I expect that type of output during any of these additional contests except for week 18 against the Tennessee Titans for Trevor Lawrence again. So give the man what I can. He deserves a little bit of shine this week because he's been holding me down. But given the fact he's up against Denver and that Denver defense this week, I don't know, man. Even me, I might be looking at some of the names we've been talking about here tonight with respect to, doing the old switcheroo for a week. Maybe I go get Tyler Show, or maybe I go get Marcus Mariota or even Kirk Cousins just to hold me down this week because that Denver defense is going to make this thing, like I say, probably the game of the week to watch outside of Bears-Packers. This is a great matchup.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cool. Is there anybody else I wanted to touch on? Yeah, I wanted to touch on this guy. So you mentioned this in short a minute ago, but with respect to the quarterback. So they're running the football now, y'all, right? So the passing game ain't flying, it ain't really working. they're figuring things out on the ground, which is great. But that means that Tony Pollard has entered the chat. Tony Pollard's had a terrible season. I drafted him. It has not been the season that I expected from Tony Pollard. I thought that he would have played much better football in conjunction with Tajay Spears. I thought the two of them could have been used like what you see in Chicago or what you see in Detroit, a great 1-2 punch, or like what you see in Seattle. There's another great 1-2 punch situation.
Mm-hmm.
Just hasn't really panned out that way. Really mediocre numbers for Tony Pollard. So I make a business of course it's right when I do it too, right? So I make a business decision in week 13 because somebody in the gangster league dropped Ramondre Stevenson. That's what I have Travion Henderson. And I stopped and I said, man, this handcuff right here is potentially a 40-point-a-week situation, right? If I have both these guys running, they're dedicated to running the football in New England. I know that. I can time that with a stopwatch. That's just how it goes down. You know what, Tony? I'm sorry. These numbers just don't justify it. I got to let you go. So I dropped Tony Pollard. And instantly, he puts up 44 points, right? Like, he immediately puts just to say, F you, cats, right? That's all that was. So there he is, 44 points deep. But then you look at week number 2, right after I drop him, he's got another 25 points going up against another these are two dangerous defenses. This is Cleveland and San Francisco. Right, he's going up a less these next 2 weeks. I'm not trying to knock the Kansas City defense. They're a decent defense, but I do have to say San Francisco and Cleveland, in my opinion, are two better defenses than you're going to find in KC. I think they continue to run the ball, and I think Tony Pollard continues to put up numbers. So if you can find yourself Tony Pollard, he's relatively heavily rostered at 69% and relatively heavily started, but fools like yours truly might have decided to cut a couple of weeks ago. He might be on your waiver wire, and if he is, get him, because he's playing really good football right now, and these Tennessee Titans have very little going in the sky. They're keeping the ball on the ground.
Yeah. And the change of philosophy has been good for Tony Parker as well as Tajay Spears. Early on in the year, for whatever reason, either the coaching staff was just trying to get the young kid acclimated to the league, but he was throwing the ball a ton. Or the fact that they were just behind, they started out behind so much, where they felt a sense of urgency to the point where they had to throw the ball to get back into games. But the change of philosophy has done great for Tony Pollard these last 2 weeks. Tajay Spears, he's shown flashes of what he can be as well, even though he's been injured. So, we'll see. I mean, versus KC, you don't know where they're at mentally.
And that's the truth, Ruth. Yeah, we'll leave things right there with another week. This is your Week 16 report. Superflex Fantasy Football. D, give them a little bit of love. Where can they find you? What are you doing this week? What's going on?
You can always find me at CSP, Chicago Sports Podcast. Shout out to the guys over there. I'm usually on Thursday nights over there and on Monday. But, every now and then I pop in on a Friday and sometimes on a Saturday. But nevertheless, the Chicago Sports Podcast, you can hit me up on X as well as Instagram. And shout out to you guys for having me on as always. It's always great. I'm sorry I missed everyone last week. Good luck in your fantasy football playoff journeys. The guys that's in there, for the ones who took an early exit this week, it's always next year.
Yeah, that's a saying that we're very used to saying here as Chicago Bears fans, but not this season. This season, it's all onward, upward, and good, better, best is what we've been saying all season. We'll continue to say that. That being said, though, big ups to all y'all out there. One more win for the good guys. Hope your week 16 works out well if you are vying for that number one spot, like yours truly in the Gangster League, as well as D-Nice in the Superflex League. He's still rocking and rolling over there. Good luck to all you guys. Shout outs to Triple R at Sports Chicago Style, as well as Nomad at the Nomad Network, and myself right here at Keds of Canuck. We will be connecting as we usually do on a Wednesday night to sprinkle a little bit of extra sauce. Please come join us at 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be discussing all things Chicago Bears. We'll chop it up on a little bit of food, a little bit of drink, and who knows what else we'll get up into. Always a good time, always a good conversation. So come hang out with us, please.
Really quick before you get out of here, to the point of some of the content, we're going to be doing movie reviews this week. So we got a couple, 2 or 3 shows and movies that a lot of people have watched. We're going to review those tomorrow.
I'm going to make sure I'm tapped in, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to get deep in all the movies that he has not seen as a Nomad, because he baffles me with some of the stuff he's missed out on. So we'll get deep into that. And that being said, leave you guys with this one more time. One more win for the good guys. And we out. Peace.